before the last date, I raised my hand. I said, Dean, you haven't talked, you said it's World Economy, but you haven't said anything about Africa. He said, well, about Africa. I said, yes. I paid $40,000 for this course, and you haven't spoken about my economy. He said, you will say it tomorrow. Next day is his last day as a lecturer in Kellogg, where he has lectured for 57 years. So on that last day, the whole place was filled. The big hall. And when he finished, he looked at me and said, Peter, do you want to know about Africa? I said, yes. He said, there's nothing called African economy. Nobody plans with Africa. Have I ever seen African specification of vehicle? There's the Gulf spec, the Euro spec, there's American spec, there's Asian spec. Have I ever heard of it? I said, no. He said, in your country, you have 20-year, 30-year economic plan? Of course. Even when I haven't seen, I said yes. We have our own. He said, he joined me for lunch. So when he finished, I followed him for lunch. After we had lunch, he said, let's take a walk by Lake Michigan. If you know Kellogg Graduate School, or they call it now Kellogg Business School, is on the bank of Lake Michigan. So we started walking on after lunch on the lake. He brought out two currencies. He said, do you have any of your country's currency? I said, yes. That time, the highest denomination of Naira, which is Nigerian currency, was 100 Naira. So I brought it out. He brought out $100. He said, which of these two currencies do you prefer, Peter? I said, $1. $100. He said, why? I told him that it's 100 Naira to $1. So his $100 is 10,000 Naira, and my one is this. He said, okay, let's exchange it. So he took my 100 Naira. I gave him $100, and we continued to walk. After we've done it, that's like a pole. He stopped again. I said, Peter, can I look at the dollars again? So I brought it out, feeling, please don't take it back. Because I've just gotten 10,000 Naira. So he said to me, tell me, Peter, which of these two currencies do you prefer? I said again, the dollar. Why? I told him the reason again. He said, let's sit down. So we sat down on a bench watching the lake. He said, young man, I've been a lecturer. I've taught in Kellogg Graduate School for 57 years. Today is my last day. You own and have been involved in economies all over the world. The only reason why you prefer another country's currency to your currency is the amount of faith you have in your country. The economy is driven by faith. What drives that faith is hope. Because there's no hope in your country, you don't have faith in it. So you prefer another man's currency. If you go around, British people keep their money in British pounds. Italians, there was no euro then. Italians keep their money in lira, even when the rate is worse than your rate. Chinese in Chinese yuan. Singaporeans in Singaporean dollar. Malaysians in ringgit. Germans in Dutch. I went around and said, but because you don't have faith in your country, you prefer another country's currency. Can I ask you for a favor? I said, yes. Can you go back to your country? Before you ask me that favor, you ask something. From your profile, you are a director in a team-quoted company. You're even a vice chairman of the bank. Are you worth $1 million? I said, yes. Are you worth 2? I said, yes. Are you worth 5? I said, yes. He said, you don't need to worth $5 million, you can actually live your life for the rest of your life without making more money because you have enough food, enough to move around. If you invest it properly, it will be giving you all you need. The rest of the money after that is the one that is in the bank. And the bankers are using it to do that. I'm worth about the same thing. Can I ask you a favor? Can you go back to your country and participate in building public wealth? Go and start in government. Public wealth enriches everybody. Individual wealth impoverishes everybody. That's what I'll leave you with. That was where we stopped. And I had his $100. So I should keep his $100, which I was very happy to keep. I left Kellogg the next day. I went back to Nigeria. There were a series of issues that happened. Very sadly. And I decided, and I come home, you know what I mean? I came home to my wife and said, listen, I'm going to go to my state and contest for government. Up to then, I never voted. Never had anything to do with politics. I didn't know what it means to have a young marriage and you're telling you, say, Peter, are you crazy? What is happening to you? She started calling everybody. Doesn't know what happened to me. Peter said he's going to the village to go and contest to be governor. Instead of investing in one, there's an investment we were trying to do then. That if I had invested today, I would have got millions of dollars. I said, see this money, I'm going to put it in politics. I've stopped investing. And it was one of the most difficult things that happened in my life. But looking back now, as difficult, with all the things I've lost, I have a sense of fulfillment that at least I can say, I changed this, I changed this, I changed this. And even still participating in it in Nigeria. When I was coming here today, somebody asked me, said, how do you feel about contesting election for the office of the president and what has happened in everything and all that? I said, let me tell you, we're just beginning. We won't stop until we dismantle that crime scene. So that's basically how I feel. For me, we need to all come together and make Africa work, make Nigeria work, and make collectively the Black world work.
Thank you so much for that. My next question is actually, you kind of spoke about the economy and like how it got you into politics. Currently with the rate of Naira being really high compared to like pounds, what do you think A would be the best policies to make sure that that is better and the Naira is stronger? And B, what do you think our current governments kind of take on that?
Well, for me, it's very easy. First, you ask yourself, what drives the rate of your currency? It's a very simple answer. Your reserve. What drives your reserve? Your exports. So countries have been in where we are today. It's very sophisticated. If you look at my campaign, I insisted we must move from consumption to production. Simple. There's nothing wrong with entire Africa. Entire Africa, not just about Nigeria. What is lacking is one simple thing: leadership. You can turn it around in a small space of time. With effortless ease. I was discussing with somebody, and it was this morning. I said, listen, you have a situation. If I take the entire, talk about the entire African army, because I'm sure so many people here are not from Nigeria. Am I right? Are all of you from Nigeria?
No.
Huh?
No.
Thank you. So we have four people from, where are you from?
Somalia.
Huh?
Somalia.
Thank you. The entire Africa, let me just compare the entire Africa for you so you see why we must do more. Today, Africa remains the only unexplored, unproductive continent. But the entire Africa, in terms of land size, Africa is about 30 million square miles land. That's about 30 million square. Europe, the entire Europe, it's about 10,000. The all 10,000 point something, and this one is 30,000. So Africa, in terms of land size, is 3 times the size of Europe. In terms of population, the entire Europe is about 743 million. We are 1.4 billion something. So we are twice their size. And our youth population is unbelievable. But when you now compare the fact that if you look at our economy, the entire Europe GDP is about 16.6, and we are 2.2. So we're 8 times that. And what is making that? It's because they're productive. So it's managing your rate of exchange is not a rocket science. It's fact that you have to produce and export something. By that, you increase your reserve, and if you increase your reserve, you manage your rates. The rates will come to what it's supposed to be. And in case of Nigeria, and I can come out back to Nigeria. Nigeria today one or 2 states which are roses of the north. We have a state called Niger State. Niger State is 76.3 thousand square kilometers of land in size. Very fertile land. Where you can grow your food, everything, even fresh sport. But Netherlands in Europe is a total and 20-something billion dollars. And the entire is into production. And they have more land space. Netherlands population is about 17.4. This is, you can say, is a developed country. We look at something like Vietnam that came out. Vietnam total exports is over $400 billion, about $400 billion. Nigerian total exports is about $40 billion. So we can't even do 10% of what Vietnam is doing. Vietnam is supposed to be the third world, except that we have parents who have decided not to help. If you do that, you can contain the naira. It's just export. In our own case, we have natural resources. People are stealing our oil. So the calculation of what we're using